of engineering. His latest work is entitled The Science of Climate Change, which has recently been published by Wiley & Sons in 2018. And he's an executive editor in the Journal of Nature Science and Sustainable Technology and the Journal of Characterization and Development of Novel Materials. Further, he's on the board of the Journal of Sustainable Energy Engineering and several other journals and corporations. So, in the past 30 years, Professor Islam has had his professional career and held different faculty positions with 7 different universities and supervised more than 150 students and postdoctoral researchers. In recognition of his research and teaching excellence, he received a number of international awards, including the Einstein Gold Medal of Honor and the Crown and Eagle Gold Medal, both of which Professor Islam was the first recipient in Canada. So we're looking forward to his presentation with the title The Science of Climate Change and the Role of the Plastic Area. So,
thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. I thought this is the first place I heard that combination and it really touched my heart. And so I repeat that was a very nice introduction. Thank you very much. The title of the talk is The Science of Climate Change, the Role of the Plastic Era. Keep your eye on the word science, because science is different from new science that we'll be discussing about. Unfortunately, in the last 300 years, the word science has become nonsense. And whatever you hear about science is actually nonsense. And I'll show that in this. The next item to keep an eye on is the plastic era. What on earth is plastic era? We actually, keynote speech today is captures the book that I have recently completed. My email address is there. I think, can you all see that? Please note it down because I will give you the free copy of the proof, the gallery proof, and it's for research. So all you have to do is write in a note, and I will send you a copy for research. And that way you have the 630-page document that will back up what I'm going to say. Because I caution you, what I'm going to say, you have not heard before. And that's a challenge. This morning I discovered that there's a great news. It was in Fox News. That's my favorite channel in the United States after Donald Trump became president. And this is a headline news. The earth is greener today than it was 20 years ago. So, what is it due to? Human activities. And this is not some conspiracy theorist, it's NASA. So, problem is solved. There is no reason to have a conference like this. Of course, you know in your heart that somebody is lying. And that's what I mean nonsense. So to begin with, what is plastic era? Here's your exhibit A. I was coming from Canada, and the shortest portion was from Doha to Dhaka. So they gave us breakfast. It's a 4-hour trip, just breakfast. And how much can a human being eat and drink? Very little, right? And I was already full, so I had very little food. But this is the waste I created. Does it look like this is civilization? We're talking about human behavior. Does it look like this human behavior has a chance to be civilized? What we see is savagery. We have gone out of control in our lifestyle and we care nothing. Because nowhere on earth, I can guarantee you, our forefathers would cringe if they thought that we would produce this much garbage that will never return to nature, by the way, and just in exchange of one meal. And we are proud that everything's fine. We have very little to do after that. So that's the plastic culture I'm talking about. This is pure insanity. So, double travesty in this. Keep in mind, the food that we consume, there is nothing wrong with it. I'm a human being, there is nothing wrong with me, I'm the best creation. Food that I consume, there is nothing wrong. Then plastic, where did that come from? Petroleum, right? There's nothing wrong with it. So what did you do to turn that into something that will never be absorbed by nature? That's big accomplishment in the negative sense. Shaitan will be very happy if you can convert something useful into something that nature will never accept. That's what you call the culture of plastic. Now, welcome to the culture of. So, in essence, plastic represents artificial. So here, this is the latest work, right? People are getting millions of dollars to do this. And this is unfortunately from California. Where is my friend? They are producing cow-free dairy from GMO yeast. Okay? So what is wrong with cow? Right? Understand that. And that's a very big project. So that's why I said, welcome to the era of cow-free milk, oil-free olive oil, water-free hand sanitizer. What on earth is sanitization without water? And humanity-free humans. This also came out last week from an MIT review, has featured this so-called richest man on the planet, who gave us idea, very innovative ideas. Everybody turns to him, and he's very relevant because it also involves climate change, and you see that. What is he proposing? Cow-free burger. So it's not enough that cow meat is bad, now cow's meat is also bad. New way of nuclear energy. Nuclear energy is good. Isn't that true? That's why you want new way. Rather than saying new wave of people who will be energy efficient, who will think differently, we are introducing new wave of nuclear. Oh, it sounds to me from atom bomb to hydrogen bomb to who knows what. But that is being promoted as something good. And carbon dioxide catcher. That would be the biggest innovations coming. What's wrong with carbon dioxide? Have you thought about that? Carbon dioxide means what? Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis means what? Greenery. Greenery means what? Do you know? Reduction of temperature. So how did we get messed up in this cycle? What you have seen in last 300 years, particularly last 100 years of plastic culture, we have taken everything from very natural to very artificial. We call that HSSN. All my books, and you might have seen my bio, this is zero waste engineering, and this is based on this theory that I advanced, that we have to go back to nature and symbolized by this degradation. Honey. What is honey? Natural source, natural process. What is sugar? Natural source is sugar cane, right? Process is not natural. How do you know? There are 30 plus toxic chemicals in it. That's not natural. That's not enough. When people become sick, they said, we'll give you saccharin, diet sugar. What is saccharin? It gives you cancer. And what is saccharin? It has non-food petroleum source. Then we go, that's not enough. So we have a cure. If you have cancer, we have a cure. We'll give you aspartame. And you know what is aspartame? It freezes your brain. So much so that if you have diet Coke, you cannot fly the plane. You can have a drink, but you cannot have a diet Coke. It's so bad, and that is being given as cure to aspartame saccharin. So what is it leading to? Nothing at the end. At the end, honey, sugar, saccharin, aspartame, nothing. You will have nothing. What you will have is only profit. So, big questions in global warming. Number one, and this is the most important thing. You know, in science, first you have to ask, what is the problem? What is the question? And you have to try to answer the questions. Then you have solutions. So, what is the big question? Is there a global warming? Right. Number two, if it is there is it man-made? Number three, if there is, if it is man-made, what activity? It seems to me that even eating a cow is a problem. So you can't tell me that. It seems that nuclear is not a problem, it's man-made, but fossil fuel is a problem. You cannot tell me that renewable is man-made, and it's not a problem, but fossil fuel is a problem. So what activity? Then number D, if C is applicable, then how can you avoid those activities? Can you do without eating cow? Can you do without having those activities? And if D is right, then how will you impact? That's what we call adaptation. But scientifically, you have to go through all this and you have to verify they're true. You cannot just jump at the last one, I'm going to do research on adaptation. What if those other ones are not true? This is the point. So this is the stage. Is global warming real? Then answer is no. Who are those? That's the right. The right is on red. I go against the conventional rule where left is shown as red and China and all this. I say right is no. These are the conservative Trump supporters of the. So no, there is no global warming. So is it man-made? Then one group will say, oh yes, it is man-made, and it can be curtailed. Others say it's man-made, but we cannot do anything about it. We have to live. This is capitalism. You cannot just lie down and become savage. And that happens to be, the left one happens to be 97%. And you'd hear this incessantly. Everybody will bombard you with this 97%, and you'll be frightened. Oh, I don't want to be among the 3%. That's extremism. I want to be popular. So I remind them. Their argument is, look at the carbon dioxide data. And my colleague from Istanbul showed that indeed carbon dioxide is going on. And going on for what? For 800,000 years. I don't know who provided that data. I don't even know how old human beings are, but we have the data. Of course. But this is the argument of the left, keep that in mind. And they will tell you, look, data before petroleum, which is last 100 years, plastic era, and after petroleum. There's a big jump, so petroleum must be the culprit. So there's a correlation between petroleum growth and CO2 growth in the atmosphere. Now, it all boils down to give us some more money so we can teach you how to adapt to it. We cannot avoid. It's all done. And global adaptation research again is a pet project of the left. Back in another friend of mine from University of Southern California, a very dear friend actually, he wrote in the 1980s, of 1992 first time, and he wrote that there is, this is the other group, right, that said there is global warming, but it's natural. And how is it? So look at the geological cycle. It has been going up and down all the time. So what's wrong? And they have actually a point. You know how much petroleum we produce? 100 million barrels a day. Okay, that's nothing. Because all the cows are breathing, all the plants are breathing. That's nothing compared to that. So they said, why are you worried? Indeed, there is some justification to that. But when it comes to the right, they say, as I was saying, very little petroleum activities have contributed very little to the overall CO2, so it's insignificant. So don't blame petroleum. Blame your cows. There is another group that said, there is no global warming at all. This is nothing. As a matter of fact, those same guys, which is true, told us in the 70s, there's a second ice is coming. So don't trust those liars. They have been lying all the time. So 3%. So they may be calling up. They become very vicious, and I don't know if you have seen any social forum that discusses climate change. It's vicious. They will attack you. So left tells the right, new skeptic, it sounds like Islamist or something, like a horrible thing. They are most dangerous of kinds. They hate everybody who has a different opinion. They are religious extremists, they are creationists, they are dangerous myths, believers. They are oil companies chooses. If you speak out, then no, look, 100 million, how does it fare? It doesn't compare. So you must be paid by oil companies. For me, it's a very problem because I'm a petroleum engineer originally. So that's the blame we have to take all the time. And they call them climate change deniers. It's like kafir. You know the word, right? It's like you're denying the existence of climate change, like climate change is God. But they do that. Most importantly, and this has become a phenomenon in the US, their MAGA hat, Make America Great Again, hat wearing, Trump supporting hillbillies. Do you know the word cat in Bengali? It's like unpolished, uncouth people. So if you deny, if you do not support the 97%, you are called hillbillies. You are deplorable gang. And you are definitely anti-science. You have no idea how science works. On the other hand, the right calls the left